The dating anecdotes hit different now that you're back on the apps. Argon Matrix. I didn't know you're back on the apps. What's that? Back on the apps after a long time? No problem. We'll get in here, start the swipe and grind. I took it to a Jimmy John's game. Hey. Hey. Ark, come on. I got you. I'll start working that in more often. Ark, what's your favorite Jimmy John's team? Gives advice for free. That's only if you crash out on me. Chat, we could do a dating profile segment review this week. All right, he's in the call waiting. Hold on. I'm just reading a DM. I'm just reading a DM. Sorry, just reading a DM. Argon Matrix, what's going on? Argon Matrix.
Hello?
What's going on?
Well, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Let me see if that's me. I can tell you if that's me or if that's you.
1 second.
It isn't test.
Oh.
Test. That's not me. That's not me, brother.
No, yeah, I hear you. You're good.
Argon Matrix, long time watcher, first time caller. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm usually more of a lurker, but sometimes I make myself known.
Can I just tell you right off the bat, you have a delightful and YouTube-esque voice. Anything you want to talk about that before we get into the meat of this?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to escape that one, would I? I guess I should say I am a streamer on YouTube.
Yeah,
so.
What do you stream? Because you got some banger videos that I've seen.
Mostly Stardew Valley.
Okay, and just to give people context, what's been your? I know you got a milli view. What is that one? So people know to clicka.
Well, the milli view there's one that just crossed a milli is the catching all fish in one day video. And then there's the other one that's actually a 2 milli view. So that one was completing the community center without leveling up. That's been a few years ago now.
That's good. So from the community center to loading your app of the community center. So I saw it in chat. You said, hey, the dating hop-ins hit a little different now that you're back on the apps. So question number one, what were you doing before you were back on the apps?
Honestly, not really much of anything. I've been busy with like work and hobbies and all that stuff. I've just been kind of grinding those out. And for a long time, I was like, I don't really feel like I have time for a relationship. Don't feel like I need to focus on that. But maybe I'm changing my tune now a little bit. I don't know. I'm still experimenting.
Got you. And when you say like grinding it out, like your hobbies, like are you talking like you spend a lot of time on YouTube, or what other hobbies have you been spending a lot of time with?
A lot of it's YouTube, yeah, because I'm working on a lot of different projects, like editing wise and streaming and everything. But I also I do writing, I do game development, I do all sorts of stuff.
Really?
A little bit.
What kind of game dev we talking about?
I'm super amateur right now. Like I'm making just like little hobby projects for myself. I have some bigger ambitions, but for right now it's just little things for myself.
I mean, because you're very friendly and a very well respected community member, I'm not gonna say you hit me with the George Lucas where you just say, hey, I'm making movies for myself. No, but like when you say
I want to share. I want to share them eventually, but right now I'm like,
brother, you got the community art room. Put them in there. I'll put one in there. I'll put it on the screen right now. Let's play it, man.
I mean, I could try, but I don't know. Let's see. I made one like last night in like a couple hours. That's the kind of game that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like really little. Okay. Well, I can try. I don't know if I can even like export it that fast. I've never tried anything like that.
Well, I mean, you have to do it this second, but I'll give it a shot, man. Art is art, but like that's what we're talking about, man. You're like, hey, I don't want to share my sketch, or I didn't think to share your sketch, but people love sketches, man. It doesn't, you got a sketch before you draw the Louvre. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
I'm learning that more and more, honestly. Yeah.
And like, I mean, you have no idea. I'm gonna say you have no idea what's coming down the pipeline, brother. But I think it's designed for you. But anyways, so you're like, what? Let me ask you this: what caused you to say, you know what? I'm gonna load the dating app back up.
I mean, it was a factor of things, but honestly, this is kind of embarrassing. The thing that tipped me over the edge is watching a movie that made me feel like, I kind of want something. I want something. I want something special.
I think that's the opposite of like cringe. It's like a movie was so well designed that it got you to take action. What was the name of the movie?
It was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, I've never seen it, but I heard that's like Vibes movie.
It's pretty It was kind of a fever dream for a bit, but I had a good time with it.
Okay, so you watched that, and like, are you talking about the second that's over you installed the apps, or the next morning?
It was maybe like a few hours after.
Okay, and what?
I was getting ready for bed basically, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just take the plunge.
What app did you select?
I just went with Tinder for now.
Okay, and how long ago did you get your profile up and running?
That would have been 3 days.
Okay, so this is like day 4?
Yeah.
Okay, and have you been swiping? Are you perusing, or what's been your approach to
I've been
the
swiping daily, brother. I've been swiping daily.
Okay, and
I wake up I wake up every morning. I do like my morning things, breakfast, whatever, and then I swipe for maybe like, I don't know, 15 minutes or so.
Okay, roughly. I mean, if you had to quantify, when you're swiping post breakfast swipe, are you getting 15 swipes, 20, 10?
I mean, if I'm going for a good while, I probably get like, I don't know, like 50 swipes in.
Okay, and out of 50, how many are you getting? Any hitbacks? Any potential matches?
I've gotten, I think, 4 potential matches.
Oh, after 4, you're averaging 1 a day, man. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame. If you go 1 out of 4, you're almost batting 300 for daily. Okay, so out of the matches, I mean, so let me ask you, how long have you been out of the game, like dating? Years, months?
It's been years, effectively. Yeah.
Like, give me 2 years, 5 years.
I would say about 3 years.
Okay, so you've been out of the game. Okay, so since you had any matches, have you had any like potential meets, first dates?
Not just yet. No, there've been some matches. I've messaged a couple of them. Nothing back yet.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, look,
I'm putting myself out there. I feel like I'm trying, but hey, you know what? It's a numbers game.
I mean, not to be comparatively speaking, but to comparatively speak, if you're getting matches after 4 days, I mean, you haven't even taken the bat out of the baseball bag yet, and you're going to be hitting singles, doubles, and triples. And I'm talking specifically baseball. So okay, so you're back swiping. When do you think, like, so you're actively doing it?
Pretty actively, yeah. I'd say.
What does your profile say? Like, if you, in terms of when it says like what you're looking for, do you mind sharing that? Maybe you paraphrase it so you don't get doxed.
Sure, yeah. 1 sec. Let me just double check so I'm not giving you any wrong intel.
Yeah.
Profile's 90% complete. I guess I should go for the Hyundai.
What are you missing on your profile?
That's a good question. I thought I filled it all out. Well, it's not letting me. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Interests: 90s kid, YouTube, binge watching TV shows, Disney, sweet treats, Dungeons and Dragons, content creation, horror movies, Nintendo.
Okay, so we're okay. So I mean, I mean, you're really out there. I mean, there is.
I'm being me, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like even like you're looking for like you versus the you she told you about. Like you're looking for another you. You know what I mean? Like, cause I mean, you're putting some stuff in there that are very specific lures that are not, I would say, not necessarily normie core, but that's good. Maybe you don't want normie core.
I mean, listen, I'm 30 now, so I'm feeling like, I don't want to mess around too much.
Yeah, the Disney Disney and D&D didn't,
It's not going to lure in it's not going to lure in most people. In fact, it's probably going to do the exact opposite. But if I find the one person that is like, ooh, you know what, maybe I want to find out more, then that's the person I want to talk to.
Yeah, because I mean, we've talked to some people on Hop-ins that they're not necessarily looking for a match. They're looking for like my man, but you're like specifically targeted, so hey, like this is who I am, and at some point, someone on the other end's gonna be swiping, and they're gonna look at you and be like, "It's real, my man." Like I've been looking for that, my man.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for, and I'm very patient. So you know what, I can wait.
Okay, so out of the matches so far, you have 4 matches, and you messaged all 4 individuals.
I've messaged 3. I just matched 1 this morning. I haven't messaged.
Okay, and when you're sending the first message, can you give us an example message of what the first contact looks like?
This is where I'm going to get roasted. I'm terrible at first contact.
No, I wouldn't say roasted. This is a learning opportunity.
That's fair. Literally, let's see. What was the first message I sent? Let me go back, find that. So it was I matched with someone, and we had like a common shared interest of horror movies.
Okay.
So I was like, I reached out and I said, "Hey, nice to meet you. What's your favorite horror movie?" And then I dropped that mine was what did I say mine was? Mine is, why can't I find the message? I swear I'm so bad at using these apps.
No, well, I'll tell you what you're not bad at.
You know what?
Initial contact. That is a very like bridge building, non-creepy. Like anyone would answer that question. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
fair, yeah. Although
I mean,
it's been like 2 days and I haven't heard a message back, but still, you're not wrong.
I mean, that,
I felt,
but
I would answer that. So.
And here's where I got to sprinkle in a little bit of the normie world, is that if someone responds instantly, it's like, let me ask you this: if you sent the message and you got a response within 5 minutes, what would your gut say about that?
I would say, I mean, it would feel like there was like a more mutual, like immediate interest, I guess.
Okay. Could I present you an alternative? Yeah.
Or I know there are alternatives. Yeah.
what could be a potential alternative?
That maybe they're like, we got him.
Okay, maybe
we got him hook, line, and sinker, and I'm gonna try and reel him in now. Okay,
maybe a bot. Yes, those are all potential, but also it could be a whiff of desperation. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that's the case, but I think if you casted 3 messages that are like crafted like that, just very like welcoming, normal, non-creepy, I bet one of them will respond.
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, I'll keep you updated.
But I'll tell you this, Argon Matrix. I think I would put the estimation of 30 to 60 days, and I think you're probably going to be matched with someone. Like match meaning multiple dates. You sound like a very well-adjusted social human with some experience, and you got it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take those odds. The thing I'm more worried about is when I actually like get to the date part, because I've been on very few dates in my life. So
when was the last date you went on in your life?
That would have been about 3 years ago, I would say.
Okay, and what did you do for the first date or the last date you went on?
For the first date, well, for the first date of the relationship, or for like the last day, because I was like in a relationship for a little while, but
How long's a little while?
that it would have been a year.
I'd say that's more than a little while. And what happened there?
It just we ultimately decided that we were better off as friends. It was a mutual breakup situation.
When you say mutual,
spent
did you initiate the mutual, or did they initiate the mutual?
They did, but
One thing we just got to be honest here. There's no judgment. We just have to be honest. So, what was so in your opinion? It just wasn't a connection, or what was the mutual communication? What did they say first?
They said, she said that it was. I'm trying to remember the exact way. She basically said, like, we've been trying this for a while and it's not working out for me. And I kind of was like, yeah, I'm feeling the same way.
And in hindsight, now that you look at it, why do you think it wasn't working out?
I think there wasn't enough common interest between the two of us. I feel like there was, like, I liked her, and I still like her as a friend. But there just wasn't enough for us to like talk about or to share activities over or to anything like that. It always felt like more of a drag than anything else, I guess.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a good sign, but that's good that when you guys would hang out, what would you guys do?
She lived a long way away.
Like how?
So at first it was a long. I don't want to dox it too much. I live in Canada and she was in the Netherlands. So, it's a ways.
How often did you see her?
We spent most of the relationship like on Discord, like doing Discord dates. I did fly out. That's what ultimately prompted the breakup, is because I flew out to visit her. I spent 2 weeks out there with her, and once we were in person more, that's when we figured out, okay, this probably isn't going to work.
And what happened in person to make you kind of understand that, hey, this isn't going to work?
It's hard to qualify exactly. It's like, when you meet the person, or when you meet a person that you're interested in person, you hope to have a bit more of like a spark, or a bit more of a I want to spend all my time with this person, or like a good chunk of my time. Like I want to be with this person, and it just wasn't there.
God, it was would you do on like video Discord dates, or just non-video Discord dates?
Started non-video, but we did do videos.
Okay.
Pretty soon after meeting.
So when you met her, it was like pretty an accurate representation.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, it was she was who she said she was. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this one, Argon Major, can I just give you like, I mean, it sounds like you're already going this route. Can I give you some unsolicited advice?
Sure.
Yeah. So this one, it sounds like, I mean, can we go local for this one?
That's the plan.
Okay.
That way you don't spend a year of your life wondering what if before you actually meet them in person.
Okay, good. Because I think here's kind of where you're at. I think you're gonna do fine. Like chat, give me, and you just, I mean, you're open to this. You hop in the Discord. Why do you think he's gonna be fine? And if no, like but the one thing I would say is you got to trust your gut, and don't say I'm not good at this. If you're like, oh, I'm not good at first dates, or I'm not good at first contact. You are good at first contact, which means you're probably also good at first dates, but just don't say that to yourself or internally, because you're going to it's like self-squeaksing. You got 96% approval rating in chat. They're not going to give you a false 96 positive. I can promise you that.
Who said N? That's my
line. That's mine. I mean, that's how you know it's honest, because you're always going to have a couple trolls, but the majority of that's a super majority.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, Argon Major.
And I am more down on myself. I need to be less down on myself.
No,
for sure.
100%. Because if you were like down on yourself, and the the down on yourself match the down bad message, I'd be like, yeah, dude, we got to clean that up. But there's nothing to clean up. You got good skills. Just trust them.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Argumentation, will you do me a favor when you? I mean, you're pretty fresh into swiping, but can you give us a hop in about like 30 days or so?
Yeah, no problem. I'll status update then.
I don't think it's gonna take that long, but we're wishing you luck, buddy.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, see you, Argumentrix. Chat is Chad. If I can, but look, I know we're not gonna start doing this, but if I can prop bet on people and the distance of when they're gonna get a date, that's easy money right there. That's easy. I'm telling you, that's easy money. Well, we didn't ask his height. When are we doing this, West Elm? We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it, but. To me, that's easy money. Wait, yeah, we did not, chat. I will not ask height check any. But if Argon Matrix volunteers at 5'9", hey, it's chat. I got ghosted by my girlfriend for a week before she messaged me again. Hold on, please, you're gonna make me copy the +2 meter over to the gameplay. Hold on, because I have to pin this, otherwise people will not believe it and think that I'm straw manning. But I got ghosted by my girlfriend for a week before she messaged me. Drove 27 hours a year later, and we're coming up on 5 years. That's a true story. He did drive 27 hours to meet his girlfriend. I'm not throwing shade. Saltine Cracker, I would never throw shade at the short individuals in chat. It's not that being short is a nerf. It's just that being tall is a buff. And I think that would get a 95% approval rating. It just would be. It's the truth. Like, you're not at a disadvantage because you're short. You just don't have an advantage. You know, when it comes to dating. You know, if we're talking about being a jockey on a horse or a coxsman on a boat, that's a super buff. But we're talking day-to-day IRL. It's not a nerf and it's not a buff. But if you're tall, a coxswain. You know what a coxswain is? It's the little guy that sits at the front of a boat and goes, row, row, row. You never heard of that? Coxswain? A coxswain rower. What do you chat? I don't understand what's funny about it. A coxswain rower. Another way of referring to coxswain, the person who steers and directs the boat. So, like, if you're short, this is a buff. You're a much better coxswain if you're short. But day-to-day IRL, being tall is a buff. Risky Google? Why do I know this? Because I didn't know it, but the school I used to teach at had a rowing program. And one of the kids in 9th grade pointed the short kid and say, hey, he's a coxswain. I said, you're going to the office. And he said, why, Mr. Gheesling, why? No, don't write me up. And I go, you know what you just said. He's like, and then like 3 or 4 other kids in class said, Mr. Gheesling, you know what that is? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what it means. And they're like, no, means he's the guy in the front of the boat. I'm like, oh, okay, no detention. A couple of my boys had a pretty good race at the state championships weekend against said school. Pretty good. Did they beat said school or did they lose to said school? The coxswain is not in the back of the boat. I know that. The coxswain is in the front of the boat. They beat said school by 6 seconds? No way. Why would the coxswain be in the middle? He sits at the front of the boat, but backwards. Is there an elaborate joke here? Oh. He's at the back. The rowers don't face the direction they're rowing. That's what I mean. He's at the front of the back. Right? It's like a coxswain is the opposite of a horse jockey. The horse, like, think of how a horse jockey sits. The coxswain sits opposite direction on the horse, but instead of a horse, it's a boat.